Well, that was the end of my being a trail angel. We packed up the car. The Outback does a great job fitting three huge hiker backpacks, three hikers, all of my stuff, and I brought them to the trail. So here they go. Bye.
Good morning from day 64 on trail. We had a nice slap pack yesterday, and then this morning we packed up the house as the drop-off point is on the way home for Jen. Managed to fit all of Jen's stuff and the resupply items that we exchanged and I didn't need, along with all our backpacks and stuff in the car. It's possible that there was stuff in people's laps, but it all fit, and Jen could even see out the back window. So, didn't hike with us today. She hiked with us a bunch yesterday, but today, a bunch of cold stuff in the car, and she wants to get home. So I don't blame her. So, it was about 2.5 to 3 hours past where she dropped us off. We have a shorter day today, 13.6 or something like that. And we're going into Hanover, New Hampshire tomorrow. So across the border for resupply. Although definitely have way too much food coming out. And packed out a bunch of the leftovers, and I realized I wasn't going to manage to eat them all. So I managed to dump some pizza off with Talus and waffle, which they were really happy about. As was I, because I figured I wasn't going to eat it and then I'd have to carry it all the way to Hanover. But I still have some hard-boiled eggs, a whole lot of veggies to eat. So, looks like we get a couple views possibly today. Although recently some of the quote viewpoints are definitely overgrown. So I don't know if like in years past they had cut some trees down to make the viewpoints and aren't doing that anymore, or if just the forest has changed over the years and what used to be an open field is now filling in with trees. But for instance, the hilltop we just walked through was theoretically a view, but I guess you get the top of the close mountain peak and that's about it to the trees these days. So one of the upsides of a shorter day is that it's not as tiring, and then hopefully when we get to camp, we'll actually manage to catch up with some stuff that we didn't have to do. One of the upsides of working out the plan is we don't have to worry about that for a while. So should have maybe a tiny bit of free time, but also got up late, or went to bed late, got up early, so probably be doing some sleep catch up the next 2 nights as well. With there's some chance of rain tomorrow, so we may cut the day short, hop in a hostel depending on how soaked we are. And the shelter tomorrow apparently has a seasonal spring that's dry, although if we get a lot of rain, perhaps that starts flowing, but I don't know if you can count on that. Anyway, I think that's it for the morning, and try to fill you in a little bit during the day. It's hard to do some of this as I mean, the forest doesn't change much these days. I guess you get kind of the woodsy, the alpine-y feel, but it hasn't been a new forest for a while since we started getting the alpine-y feel in Vermont, in the tail end of Massachusetts. So anyway, ducky out. There was one other item, so got another new shirt. The first one was an REI branded shirt. I hiked with that for a while, with probably 10 trips or so, and I did really like it, but it was a regular polyester kind of shirt. I don't remember the REI model, and so it's starting to get some holes in the back, and it held the stink, shall we say. I had tried out a Patagonia Capeline before, we left for the trail. So I had that at home and had put the bug perthrin in that, and so I had swapped that out a couple weeks ago. I did like that shirt, but that one also held the stank, and there were a couple times that even after washing it, I put it on and like 5 minutes later the shirt would be like rank, as the Orchid would put it. I smell Tucky ahead of me. So Pilgrim had a merino wool shirt from Merino Tech, and I got that. It's size medium, which fits like nicely. It's not too loose. I guess it fits not so snugly, but it's maybe just a touch short. So I'm not sure if I should have gone with the large, but I also don't want like too baggy a shirt underneath the backpack because that gets a little annoying. And so we'll see how this one does with the stink. I forget if it's 100% merino or if it's a merino blend. And I'm not sure it says it on the tag. So, but so that's the one significant gear change I made. I have the same brand shoes. I just got new shoes. They're half size larger, which I don't think I necessarily needed. I was afraid that when I had ordered the shoes, I got two, an 11 and 11 and a half, that if my feet were getting bigger, that maybe the 11s would be too small. But I think these might be like okay, but perhaps a touch too big. So I don't know if I'm going to still be able to order them. It's been a couple more weeks, but hopefully I'm going to be able to get the Speed Goat 4s again and finish out the trail with them and not have to try to see whether the changes for the Speed Goat 5 work for me. So, but I think those are the big gear changes. I decided to keep the 40-degree bag for now. Looking at the weather, look at the average lows. I don't get, kind of are in the 40s, where I'm kind of comfortable with, wearing stuff. And I haven't had to wear the puffy in the sleeping bag yet, so I think I can get down into the low to mid 40s and be comfortable. And the other bag is about a pound heavier, but it's much, much bulkier. And it's the bulk kind of that's more of the issues right now with 2.5 days of food kind of in the food bag. It's already hard to close the pack. So I was, trying to avoid the extra bulk. And I can still get the bag shipped up if it turns out that, in August it's dipping way colder. If there's going to be like a big cold snap in August or something, that I might want the colder bag. We can probably make that happen with a mail drop. So anyway, I think that's it. I got the replacement pole, but same brand. And Ducky out. Well, we're getting a bit of a change today. We've had a bunch of meadow walks like this one and field walks. Yeah, it's really nice. Probably that mountain to the right is the one we climb. The only downside is it's in the low 80s and the sun is blazing. So it feels not too bad in the woods, but it is downright hot and humid out in the field. But on the upside, I am not 5-6 weeks back suffering in New York or Connecticut or somewhere, wherever we were 5 weeks ago. So I hear it's in the 90s back home. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. This is what droopy hikers look like. Soaking wet, sweaty, droopy hikers.
Hot as balls.
Exactly.
The skin is glistening.
There's maple syrup lines running all throughout this forest. Saw them earlier today as well. So tons and tons of tubing in the woods. Just had some amazing trail magic back at the road crossing and the stream. Had root beer floats, Italian ice or water ice, depending on where you live, and all, and soaked our feet. We were nice and cool, very comfortable, and then we just climbed. And it was a hot climb, and I feel just as miserable as I did beforehand. But still felt great to sit in the...
Today.
No, it's hot. Ooh, that's a nice mushroom. Trail magic was done by a couple, Endless and Queen Bee, who have hiked the AT in years past, among other trails. So much appreciated on this hot day. They managed to keep the ice cream mostly frozen. Duffy was getting soupy at the bottom, but sure hit the spot. Cold root beer float in a stream in the middle of nowhere, Vermont. What more could a guy want? It's been a while since we have walked along a well-built wall, but as you can see, this thing is near vertical. No idea how old it is, but it is not the mound of rocks that we've been seeing recently, but some of the better walls that we were seeing back in New York and Connecticut.